Hey guys, it's Tim from KT Strategic, and I wanted to show you what I got in the mail the other day from Guardian Angel, the folks you probably see in their ads. I know I've seen them all over Instagram and things like that. If you play in the public safety space, you're probably going to be targeted by their ads. This is their Elite Series blue and yellow model. It comes in this little box from the folks at Guardian Angel down in, well, wherever they are. As you can see here, this is the device. Dump it out. Oop. And these suckers have some really impressive magnets on them. So this is actually magnetized there from the base. This is just a USB Type A to Type C cord for charging the unit. Some packaging there. Whatever fit in there. And I've already opened this one, so I had the manual in between. But this is a little manual. You are going to want to read through that. Whoa. Easy on the focus there, bub. It's a little bit tricky to operate these at first. Once you learn how to do it, it's pretty simple though. So this is just the base they've got here. You see, very powerful magnet. And this will magnetize to pretty much whatever you want it to. If I grab, well, those of you who have seen my review of the workshop sharpener, that's pretty solidly on there. I would imagine it wouldn't fall off too terribly easy of just about anything, but I guess, you know, run your own risks. You can see it's got the button interface here on top, and let's see if I remember how to turn this on. Nope. I don't. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, it was on already. That's it. So these things have a standby mode you can put them into, and they will not react like you would expect if they're on standby. Probably good for putting it in a pocket or something like that, but it does make it a little bit tricky to remember what you're doing with it sometimes, at least for me. But I'm simple. So as you can see here, this is the rear, so the front of the unit is this side. I hit the rear button and it'll turn the rear lights on solid. I press it a second time and it'll flash them. I press it a third time, it goes off. Same thing for the front. On, flash, off. And then if you press the big button on top, that sets everything strobing. So my focus will hold. There we go. You can see front strobing, rear is strobing. The side has a couple of little LEDs. There's not a ton. There's also some reflective stuff in there. And the top actually has a little white strobe as well. So if you're working with aircraft or things like that, that could potentially come in handy. But for roadway work, this is definitely going to be obnoxious. You can also operate them independently. So for instance, if you want the rear to flash and the front to be solid white for working on something, that's an option as well. Or you can have everything flash again. Let's see here. And then the other thing, so once you turn one of them on, you can press this little button here. Come on. There, this little button here. So max, high, medium, low, max. So it'll just cycle through the different brightnesses. They all start at high, not on max. And as you can see here, there's max. It's really stinking bright. I'm in a not terribly dark room, and this is washing out all the highlights on the camera. So these are very, very bright little lights at max. And then if we turn it, whoa, flashing, there we go. If we turn everything off, you also have this little button in the front here, which will turn on your little red work light. And you can also adjust the brightness on that with the same button. So again, max is fairly bright. It is just one single red LED. Low is quite dim. So if you need that sort of thing, it can be helpful. You can also do the rear with the red work light. But once you turn the bright white lights on, the red does turn off. So just to give you an idea, and then it'll also, if you press and hold this button here, the brightness button, it'll switch into SOS mode. And as you can see, all the lights flash in SOS. So if you have need of that feature, oh. There we go. If you have need of that feature, it does exist. They also have some cool attachments that I'll go grab here, and we'll take a look at those. Oh, and I checked, they're actually from Wisconsin. So, Upper Midwest. So they've got this one, which is the jaw. Again, the magnet mount. Universal clip, which is just looks like a pistol holster clip, or something like that for some of the chintzy pistol holsters you have out there that don't conceal very well, not that I'm biased. Then it's also got a dummy cord, or well, they call it a tether, but it's a dummy cord. Don't lose your stuff, dummy. If you are operating in an area where you use safety cones, they've got a safety cone mount, just sticks in the top of the traffic cone, sits there. And they've also got this strap and Epilep snap lock mount. This is a little bit like some of the holster mounts that you're used to seeing, some of the higher grade stuff. The name is escaping me right now, but there are a few products out there that are similar to this. This one just is for one of these devices rather than for a pistol. So you can see there, it'll rotate. And on all of these, because it is a magnet attachment, this light will rotate all the way around. So no matter which way you actually mount it initially, you can change which way is the front and the back to allow yourself some freedom with that. So interesting little device. I'm really curious to see how it looks at night. I'm sure you guys are too, so I will advise as I hear more. And then I also have, because this particular model is the blue and yellow model, so I also had them send me a red and yellow model. So everything is the same, except the rear is red and yellow, or red and amber, where the rear on this one is blue and amber. And they have bunches of different colors, bunches of different pairing options, so you can really kind of mix and match to your heart's content. I would just be cautious if you're not law enforcement or emergency services about getting one of the blue ones. You probably don't want to be caught with one of those running around with officer friendly asking you what the heck you're doing and whether or not you're impersonating a police officer. So again, that varies depending on where you live, but I would be cautious with the blue, potentially with the red. The all amber is probably the safest option for somebody who isn't officially anything licensed or sworn. I'd recommend sticking to all amber, and also that's one of the safer colors you can be using, and we can go into that another time, but there's some good data out there that amber to the rear is actually the safest option for all of us, law enforcement, fire included. Alright, well if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Last thing on these Guardian Angel devices, they were actually kind enough to send me one of this year's model, which is in my right hand, and one of last year's, which is in my left. The first difference you'll notice between the two devices is the new one has all of the functions labeled on it. The old one does not. So if you're the type that needs to have a little prompt for what the stuff does, get the newer one. The other thing, this starts, so you just turn the rear on there, in low, as you can see there. And this one, the newer one, jumps right to max after you push the button once, and then it goes to high, and then medium, and then low. So again, oops, high, max, high, medium, low. Just a different. This one starts in low. New one starts medium, jumps to max, then high, then medium, then low. Or excuse me, I think they both start in low, and then it jumps to max, high, medium, low. Yeah, that looks about right. Whereas this one starts low, medium, high. Little tiny differences, not a huge deal. Nothing that I'm going to lose any sleep over if I were looking at one. This is kind of fun. But potentially a difference that might be relevant to you as the end user. I think the biggest difference you'll find for both of these is just the writing. If you really want one of these and you don't want to spend the money, I'd encourage you to look at the old model because it's functionally very similar. As you can see, there's a little bit of a difference in the freak out pattern as well. The strobing is a little different on the top light, and the way the front strobes is different as well. So some subtle differences between the 2 years. Nothing too crazy. This one also does not seem to have the strobe mode, or excuse me, the SOS mode. Whereas the new one will do SOS in Morse code. So, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, I guess you know which one you want. But otherwise functionally almost identical. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Stay safe out there. Oh, and one more thing. The older model uses micro USB. The new one is USB Type-C. So if you're the sort of person that cares about those sorts of things, or you have a bunch of USB Type-C chargers lying around, you may want to spring for the newer one. If you don't care, or you have a bunch of micro USB lying around, maybe last year's model isn't a bad choice.